On the evening of May 19th, a major accident happened in Fengyang County, Anhui Province. The roof tiles on top of the Fengyang Drum Tower suddenly collapsed. Dust filled the air as tiles poured down like a waterfall. People nearby ran to take cover. This incident quickly became a trending topic online, not just because it was dramatic, but because the building had just been renovated last year. The Fengyang Drum Tower is over 600 years old and is the largest existing drum tower in China. Videos shared online show that the top layer of roof tiles first started sliding off slowly, then large sections collapsed all at once. A witness said he heard the sound of tiles falling and rushed to check. He added, "Luckily, it happened at this time. There was no one in the square, so no one was hurt. If it had happened later, after dinner, there would have been a lot of kids playing outside." According to Chinese media, the local government spent over 3.4 million yuan last year to repair the roof and replace broken tiles. Official records confirm that the project included replacing damaged stone panels and loose tiles. Less than a year later, the roof collapsed, shocking many people. This situation has sparked questions from local residents. They're asking why a renovation project that cost 3.4 million yuan failed so quickly. One person pointed out this ancient building stood for hundreds of years without falling. Then it collapses right after the repairs? Isn't it getting worse the more they fix it? Despite the large-scale collapse, officials claimed it was just tile shedding, but one content creator posted a video questioning that statement.
安徽凤阳的这个鼓楼啊，这个瓦片说是脱落。
At Funyan Drum Tower in Anhui, officials say it was just some tiles falling off, but to me it looks like a partial collapse. Have you ever seen tiles fall off and take down an entire wall? How is that not a collapse? But of course, the authorities insist on calling it tile shedding. This is clearly a Tofu-Dreg project. Someone needs to be held accountable, not just the construction team, but also the people who commissioned the work. You can't just issue a short notice saying the building was rebuilt in 1995 and leave it at that. That's just an excuse to keep the public from learning the truth.
He also raised wider concerns.
We've seen plenty of Tofu-Dreg projects and badly built buildings, but now even our ancient architecture isn't safe. This is a disgrace to our ancestors, a betrayal of the people, and a waste of the people's money. So here's the real question. This was once a key government project. How did such a shoddy renovation pass inspection? Who signed off on it? If there was a public bidding process, then every cent should be traceable. It's just a matter of whether today's officials are willing to tear off the cover and expose the truth. China is a vast country with countless historical buildings. Every one of them represents a piece of our history, a story, a cultural treasure. If the Fengyang Drum Tower collapsed after renovation, what about all the others? Are they at risk too? Is there fraud involved? Is there corruption? If people are willing to cut corners even on something left to us by our ancestors, what else are they not capable of doing for money?
This incident to a growing list of similar cases across China. For example, the newly built Terminal 5 at Xi'an's Shienyang Airport, which 40 billion yuan and opened in February, also sparked outrage. Less than 3 months after opening, it flooded during a heavy storm. On May 8th, Xi'an was hit by hail, thunder, and strong winds. Videos showed the terminal leaking badly. Water poured through ceilings at boarding gates, ceiling tiles fell, and floors were covered in water. One traveler joked, "It's raining outside, and it's raining inside too." The Shienyang Airport later released a statement about the incident. They said a large amount of hail had piled up on parts of the T5 terminal roof during extreme weather, blocking the drainage system. As a result, rainwater couldn't be released and ended up flooding inside the building. But people online weren't convinced. Some joked, "Heavy rain outside, light rain inside. What a futuristic design." Another person said, "This isn't a leak. It's like the flood boarded the plane before it even took off." The T5 terminal is part of the airport's Phase 3 expansion, which began in 2021. The total investment was 40 billion yuan. It was supposed to add 700,000 square meters of terminal space and 350,000 square meters of supporting facilities. But after just one heavy storm, the problems were laid bare. Some people questioned how a brand new modern terminal could end up looking like a water curtain cave after one storm. They wondered if the entire process from design and construction to inspection and operation was full of backdoor deals and corner cutting. If there hadn't been corruption and weak oversight, would this embarrassing and sad situation have happened? One content creator who works in construction shared his thoughts.
Every worker involved wanted to do quality work. They wanted to proudly tell their children, Your dad helped build this terminal, but things changed when someone says, the leader's coming tomorrow, or when someone who doesn't understand construction insists on finishing early. A reasonable schedule suddenly gets cut in half. Some people care about appearances, others only care about speed, but no one stops to ask whether the concrete needs time to set properly, or whether the waterproofing needs a proper test. The construction schedule keeps changing based on someone's mood, and in the end, the whole plan becomes useless. I remember working on a hospital project 2 years ago. It was originally scheduled to finish the following June, but someone who knew nothing about construction insisted it had to be done by the end of December. Then, there was a school project that wasn't even approved until March, and someone still promised the leadership it definitely open next September. We always laugh at how long it takes foreigners to fix a manhole, and we brag about being infrastructure maniacs with China speed. But the truth is, some things can be rushed, and some things absolutely can't.
China's infrastructure often shows its true colors when disaster strikes. In recent years, buildings across the country have collapsed, leaked, or fallen apart during storms. On May 26, 2024, after a heavy rain in Chongqing, the Chuzhou Tunnel started leaking. It looked like a waterfall. 2 large cracks appeared in the ceiling, and muddy water gushed through. Parts of the ceiling structure even fell. The tunnel was built by China State Construction's 5th Engineering Division and its Tunnel Division. It's 14.4 kilometers long and cost 6.5 billion yuan in total, over 460 million yuan per kilometer. But it has only been open for less than 3 years before showing serious problems during the storm. And this year, similar incidents keep happening. On May 19th, a food delivery driver in Hunan posted a video saying he nearly lost his life under another Tofu-Dreg project.
While I was out delivering food today, I almost lost my life at the entrance of an office building on Liancheng Avenue. I had just arrived, about 10 meters from the entrance, and hadn't even parked my bike when someone at the door suddenly shouted. Then I heard a strange rattling sound. I looked up and, oh my god, from the 3rd floor all the way to the 13th, sections of a white pipe were falling, one after another like sausages dropping from the sky. If that had hit me, it would have left holes all over my body.
He said it was terrifying. If he hadn't been wearing a helmet or had gone just a bit more to the right, he would have been struck. Luckily, he entered from the left and managed to avoid being hit. He thought the biggest risk of his job was dealing with traffic, but he never imagined the real danger would come from shoddy construction. On May 20th, a video from a content creator in Henan showed another case of poor construction. While traveling, he came across a concrete overpass with deep and visible cracks under the bridge. These weren't just surface lines. They stretched across several structural sections and looked very concerning. On May 19th, a content creator in Fuzhou, Fujian, said he woke up to find the ground sinking in his residential complex. The ground underneath had completely hollowed out. He explained the building was only a few years old and had just been handed over recently. He never expected such a serious problem so soon. According to Chinese media, the collapse happened at Lixiangwan community in Meishi Town, Fengyang County. Earlier that morning, part of the road inside the complex suddenly gave way. Residents who saw the collapse were shocked to find the ground was hollow underneath. Property management later said a burst underground water pipe had washed away the soil, causing the collapse. The incident sparked a heated discussion online. Some commented, "It used to be the sky falling, now it's the ground." Others warned, if one part has collapsed, the entire complex is unsafe. One person added, "How can anyone sleep peacefully at night? What if the whole building comes down?" Another content creator criticized the quality of housing in China. He said,
People ask me how housing quality is in China today. I can tell you with confidence, most homes now are poorly built. They may look good on the outside, but inside, where you can't see, the truth is ugly. Anyone in construction knows what I mean. Remember those old ads telling you to buy one home for yourself, another for your parents, one for your son, one for your grandson, and even one to rent out? But with houses this badly built, how many generations can it really last? Some can't even make it to 30 years before needing major repairs. Buying property in China is one of the biggest scams out there.
In another video from Changsha, a man showed a wall of a home being built by China Railway Construction. He lightly rubbed the wall, and the surface crumbled to dust. He kept rubbing until he reached the red bricks underneath.
Look at this, just one rub, and it's all falling apart. What is this?
China Railway Construction Corporation is a massive state-owned enterprise under the Chinese Communist Party. It has been repeatedly linked to scandals involving shoddy construction. On March 38th this year, a 30-story building in Bangkok, Thailand, collapsed during an earthquake centered in neighboring Myanmar. The tower was built by China Railway No. 10 Engineering Group, a subsidiary of CRRC. The collapse quickly became an international scandal. Investigators suspect that the builders may have illegally altered the original design and used substandard materials to cut costs. After an official investigation, Thai authorities arrested Zhang Chuanling, the general manager of China Railway No. 10 Engineering Group's Thailand branch. Chinese media have remained silent on the issue, while many overseas commentators believe Zhang is being made a scapegoat. Meanwhile, another content creator exposed serious quality issues in a home built by a well-known Chinese real estate developer, though the name of the company wasn't mentioned. He pointed out that the wallpaper had barely been installed before problems began.
Take a look. This is supposed to be a big-name developer, a well-known brand. Look at this quality. Just yesterday, we were putting up wallpaper and removed the baseboard to get a cleaner finish. Then we saw this mess behind the wall. We spent so much money on this place, and this is the result?
Another homeowner revealed that the construction of government-subsidized housing was even worse. He said that in some units, water pipes weren't even connected. These are our resettlement homes. How are people supposed to live here? The developers cut corners. Pipes weren't even connected. They just left them buried in the mud. Now the entire drainage system is blocked. Who signed off on this? How did this even pass inspection? Even more outrageous cases are surfacing. One content creator showed that parts of a wall were held together using tape and foam. This is unbelievable. Look closely. The wall is held together with transparent tape, and behind the wall, foam. They literally used foam instead of solid materials. Another homeowner showed a wall inside their home where a large section of the plaster had fallen off. The inside was filled with loose sand. The blogger said that during renovation, no one noticed the lack of proper reinforcement or the poor materials. The walls were made of gypsum plaster, and an entire chunk fell off, crumbling into powdery sand. There were no stones, just sand. The wall was flimsy and weak. One more video showed a shocking leak and cracking problem in a newly purchased apartment. The homeowner said,
"Look at this house. There are leaks and cracks everywhere. The unit below us is leaking too. They just did waterproofing, and it's still leaking. How am I supposed to fix this? This building is falling apart. Look at the freshly renovated wall. It's soaking wet. The exterior wall is cracked. You can see the whole thing split open. It's completely soaked. Even the outdoor-facing wall is severely cracked. This is insane."
One content creator showed that even something as basic as a door was poorly made. He recorded a video revealing what was inside the door.
Let me show you what's inside this door. It's full of cardboard. That's why these homes have no soundproofing at all.
Another creator compared construction in mainland China to housing in Hong Kong, explaining why homes in China tend to have such a short lifespan.
Take a look at this building in Hong Kong. This is why so many of them last 100 years. Just look at the steel rebar, thick and closely spaced. And this is just for a small section of the wall. They use proper concrete, compacted well, the materials are solid. That's why these buildings can stand for a century.
He went on to explain the problems with construction in mainland China. For example, concrete is often pushed to its performance limit. Even if it's labeled as C30, its actual strength will rarely reach C35. The steel rebar used is also affected by what's called a reliability coefficient, which takes into account multiple factors. While he didn't go into technical detail, he emphasized that these two components, the concrete's real strength and the steel's reliability, form the building's safety margin, often called the redundancy factor. Typically, buildings are designed with a redundancy factor between 1.05 and 1.2, but he warned that even if the design is solid, poor quality materials make everything else meaningless. That's why many buildings in mainland China show serious structural problems before they reach even 50 years of age. In truth, these so-called Tofu-Dreg projects have become a systemic issue in China. Under the rule of the Chinese Communist Party, problems stretch from top to bottom, from design to construction. Counterfeit materials and deception are widespread. Even large, expensive public projects are riddled with corruption and fraud. Independent commentator Du Zheng said it best. In China today, it feels like we're living in an era with nothing genuine. Industries, government, professions, even the so-called experts all seem to be lying or covering things up. That's the harsh reality. And these fake things made under the CCP haven't just stayed in China. Over the years, they've been exported around the world. So now the whole world is paying the price for these Tofu-Dreg projects.